I tested over 200 products back in 2018 when I first got started in dropshipping, and I learned one very important lesson which a lot of people ignore when they first want to get started with dropshipping. This is what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, so I hope that you guys stick around and really try to listen and understand what I'm going to be sharing with you, because I believe and I am certain that if you apply all the things that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next few minutes, and if you adopt the type of mindset which I'm going to be sharing with you, then you will tremendously increase your chances of succeeding in the dropshipping industry. Now, when I first got started in 2018, all I was looking for was simply to make some money as soon as possible by any means possible. And I really mean that when I say by any means possible. So all I was doing was just consuming content on YouTube, watching different gurus online. Each has their own techniques, each has their own strategies, their own funnel to funnel you through and eventually sell you their courses. So all I was doing was just to gather as much information as possible so that I can finally start making some sales and get some results from my dropshipping business. Now, the thing that I was doing was I would simply start looking for what they call, to this day, winning products. So I was obsessed with this idea of winning products, and for me, a winning product would totally change my life overnight. And I had this misconception that all I needed to find was one single winning product to change my life overnight and for the rest of my life, which was absolutely wrong. And it's actually a belief, a mindset that the gurus try to ingrain in you, because it's actually in their favor that you do believe this BS. Because if you do believe this BS, you will buy their courses and their coachings, whatever they are selling online. If you do not believe it, then you will not believe their stuff. So it's in their absolute interest for them to market dropshipping in such a way that everyone needs to be obsessed about finding a winning product for them to change their life forever, when this couldn't be further from the truth. Now, the unfortunate thing about the dropshipping industry is that there is a lot of dishonest gurus out there, people with no ethics, morals whatsoever. They are only in this industry to make money and squeeze out as much money as possible from the honest people who are trying to make an honest living out of dropshipping. So what happens with most of these gurus is they just make more money coaching and selling coachings to people, selling courses to people, than they make from their actual dropshipping business. So it is in their interest to keep selling people this idea of winning products mindset. Now, for me, while I did adopt this type of mindset fully, I adopted this mindset 100% when I first got started, because I have tested over 200 plus products when I first got started, and I do not know a lot of people that have tested such a high amount of products. But in hindsight, despite the countless frustrations that I had experienced and the countless money that I had lost in the process trying to find winning products, in hindsight, I believe that was a very constructive period of time for me, because it allowed me to finally understand the game, finally understand what exactly you need to do, what type of mindset, what type of thinking and beliefs you have to adopt to finally succeed with dropshipping. So for me, when I was going through those countless product testings, I was constantly and endlessly running after this dream of finally finding a product that's going to change my life. So what happened after testing such a high amount of products is that I was only able to find 2 winning products, which is less than 1% hit rate. And this is despite buying a course. This is despite following all of the gurus' advices. This is despite following all of the guidelines, all of the checklists that you need to verify whether or not a product is worth testing. I was never, not in a single instance, testing a product which had no potential whatsoever. All the products that I was testing were thoroughly reviewed by myself to ensure that they had satisfied all the criteria that I was looking for, to ensure obviously that they had the highest chances of working. But despite that, I was only able to find 2 products. Now, what this made me realize, that was certainly not the type of business model I wanted to be involved in. First of all, because it was highly volatile, highly unpredictable, and highly unsustainable. It's not something that's gonna keep generating you revenue from month to month, from year to year. So it's not something that I could live off of. When my main goal at the time was to build an online income stream that would be dependable, that would be sustainable over the long run, so that I can finally be able to live off of it and be a full-time online entrepreneur. And this couldn't be achieved with the techniques and whatever BS was taught by the gurus back in 2017, 2018. While the one thing that was good about this whole experience was that I was able to make sales, I was able to find 2 winning products, and that alone gave me the confidence and the belief that this is working, that there are people out there who will buy a product on your store online from another corner of the world without even seeing your face, just by seeing the product that you are selling on your store, putting out their credit cards and putting the trigger and purchasing the products that you are selling them. And this gave me the belief that this is working. It's just that I was not able to connect the dots to build something that would be sustainable and something that would be dependable and would bring me a consistent amount of income, revenue, profits over the long run, because that was my main pain point, which I was not able to address when I was adopting the winning mindset and going after countless product testings and just going through this endless hamster wheel, which was very much frustrating back at the time. So this leads me to the most valuable part of the video, in which I'm going to share with you guys what exactly I have learned throughout that experience. The first thing that I have learned throughout that experience is that you should not do like what 99% of people are doing in the industry, right? Because if you do and follow what 99% of people do in the industry and whatever is preached, whatever the gurus are saying is working, then you are going to get the results of 99% of these people. And if you look at the results of 99% of these people, 99% of them are not succeeding, right? So do you want to be part of the 99% of the people that are not succeeding? Of course, you do not want to. So in order for you to get the results and succeed and become part of the 1% that are actually getting results and transforming their lives with this business model, you have to not do what the 99% are doing. So what I did is I just dismantled the winning product mindset, and I thought that I would follow my own type of approach and I would follow my intuition. My intuition back at the time was to simply consider launching an online business the same way I would launch a physical business in the physical world. There would be no difference in the steps that I would take, the products that I would choose, the brand that I would build, that I would commit to over the long run. There would be no difference between a physical store brand that I would commit to over the long run and an online store brand that I would also commit to in the long run. So that was the first major lesson for me, which I had applied and which was really the foundation of the results that I was going to achieve afterwards, because I believe that was the first building block that allowed me to finally crack the code and be able to hit my goals and hit my targets with this type of business model. So the first thing you guys have to do is follow your own intuition, right? Do not follow the common beliefs. Do not do what 99% are doing in the industry, and do not follow blindly whatever guru is teaching you online. The second most important thing, the second lesson that I have learned throughout my experience testing over 200 products back in 2017 and 2018 was that you do not need a winning product. You do not need to find a product that no one has ever found before. You do not need to be the first person to find a product that's going to revolutionize the way something is used by a customer or revolutionize their lives in some way, shape, or form. You do not have to do any of this. All you have to do is find something that is already working in the market, something that has an established demand, something for which you can prove that there is a good consistent amount of demand for throughout the year, something that does not have seasonal demand, and something that is basically just proven to sell. Take, for example, a bottle of water, right? There's always going to be demand for bottles of water, right? People use bottles of water every single day of their lives. It's something that you cannot live without, right? So this is exactly what I am referring to. You need to find something that is already selling and people cannot live without. People are using in their daily lives, and if not daily lives, they use frequently. So really, this is a critical part of the new mindset that I want you guys to embrace with your dropshipping journey to maximize your chances of success. Do not try to find the next winning product. Do not try to find a product that has a tremendous wow factor that is going to blow people's minds away. No, you do not need all of that. If you look at some of the most successful companies like Google, when they first launched the company, there were already some search engines like Yahoo, many other search engines which were not that common, which were not that famous back at the time. But nonetheless, these were search engines that adopted pretty much the same principle as Google. They just did not have the spotlight on them. So what Google did is simply just adopt the same principle of the business, which is just being a search engine, and do it a lot better than the previous search engines. And this is exactly what helped Google become the #1 search engine in the world when they were not the very first search engine to be launched in the world. So this tells you one thing. It tells you that you do not need to become the first in your industry. You do not need to become the first business to find a revolutionizing idea, to find an original idea that no one has found before you. You just need to find something that is already working, something that has already an established demand, and something that your customers need to use frequently in their lives. So this is really all you need to find. You do not need to pay any product spying tool 30, 40, 50, 100, sometimes even $100 a month to be spying on other stores and just going through countless product research sessions, spending countless hours trying to find your next winning product, when all you could do is just find something that is already working and bring your own twist on it. Conduct a thorough market research, see what are the shortcomings of the solutions that are already out there in the market, and see how you can capitalize on those shortcomings, how you can provide a better value proposition to the marketplace, and really become the authority figure in the marketplace by capitalizing on those shortcomings and addressing every single weak point of the competitors who are already providing the same solution. So really, when you adopt this type of mindset, that's when you are sure to be on your way to finally unlocking success with e-commerce or any other business for that matter, really. So really, this point is what holds a lot of people back, prevents them from achieving their goals with dropshipping and e-commerce as a whole. So once you adopt this mindset pivot, you pivot from a winning product mindset to the mindset of finding a product that is already working, that is not that revolutionary, and simply pinpointing what are the shortcomings of all the other businesses that are providing this solution, and make it a goal of yours to become the absolute best and capitalize on those shortcomings, on those weaknesses of the current competitors in the market, so that you can become eventually the #1 authority figure and the best player in that market, which gets the biggest share of the pie. Now, the third lesson that I had learned is that if you are approaching dropshipping, if you are approaching e-commerce as a business that you are interested in building, in growing, and making it your full-time income, your full-time occupation, and just relying on that business to pay your bills and to acquire your financial freedom over time, to do that, you have to be focused on one thing and one thing only, because the more your focus is singular, the more you have a singular type of focus, the better quality results you are going to get over time. A lot of people, what they do is they just keep juggling between either different products or different stores. So what I had done, what my intuition had called me to do, was simply focus on one store, one brand, and put all of my laser focus, my singular focus on developing that brand from the ground up, from scratch, over the long run, because I had such a strong internal calling to execute on this approach, because I believe that the more you focus on one thing, the more you enhance and increase your chances of becoming the best in that one particular thing. When you think about Jeff Bezos, when he first started Amazon, do you think Jeff Bezos had some side projects, had some side hustles on the side? No, he was going all in on Amazon and Amazon only. And this is the type of approach that you have to implement for your dropshipping and e-commerce journey as well. From the get-go, you have to decide on the type of brand you want to be running, the type of products you want to be running, and the type of customers you want to be serving through your brand and your online e-commerce store. Because you have to keep in mind that you are going to stick to this business model for a long time. You are not in this for the short run. You are not in this to get rich quick, because there is no such thing as get rich quick. Even if you do get rich quick finding a winning product quickly, you will eventually lose that money very fast trying to find another winning product, because a winning product can only last so long. Whereas if you focus on one thing, on one brand, on one product, while the initial phase of launching your business might not generate big results, it might blow, well, that is an indicator that you are on the right path, because you are slowly but surely growing. So that slow start is a sign that you are on the right path, and that over time you are slowly going to grow your business. And most importantly, it is the sign that you are on the right way to consistency and sustainability, to building a consistent, predictable, and sustainable business that you can live off of for the long run. So the slower the start, the slower the results in the beginning, the more likely you are going to have a consistent, predictable, and sustainable business over the long run, which was my absolute goal and should be your absolute goal as well, honestly speaking, if you want to make this business model your full-time occupation. Now, the fourth and last but not least lesson that I had learned throughout that process, that experience, was that you really have to be your own customer avatar, and you have to build a business around something that you have a passion for, or a high level of affinity for, a high level of interest for, and an above average level of command and understanding. Because when you think about it, if you are committing to something over the long run, if you know that you are going to be starting a business on which you are going to be working for at least 2 to 3 years, 4, 5 years at least, and you are not going to deviate, you are not going to change lanes over the next few years, when you want that thing to be something you are passionate about. Because if you do not like whatever you are going to be committing to over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then odds are highly stacked against you, and there's high chances that you're just going to throw in the towel along the way. Whereas when you are enjoying whatever you are selling, when you are passionate about the stuff or the niche that you are selling in, and you understand your customer avatar, you understand your customers' challenges, needs, and whatever product they might be looking for to improve their lives and add value to their lives, that's when you are going to enjoy the journey. And the more you enjoy the journey, the better quality results you are going to achieve, and the more competitive you are going to become in the marketplace, and the least likely your competitors are going to have the upper hand on you. Because the more passionate you are about something, the more the marketplace perceives it. Because if you are the same avatar as your customer, then your customer who is browsing your store will understand that this store is run by someone or a team that are actually passionate about the store, about the niche and the products they are selling in the store, and you will build a close connection with that customer, and he is gonna happily buy from your store. So Steve Jobs did not say that you have to do something you enjoy, something you love for no reason. If Steve Jobs said that if you do not do something you love, because business is tough, because business is ruthless, you have to do something you love, because otherwise you're just gonna give up and quit because of the hard nature of business, then who are we to not follow his advice? One of the best entrepreneurs in human history, who are we not to follow his advice to succeed in business? So really, guys, in all of my videos, if there's one thing that I keep emphasizing on, is to really sell in a niche you are passionate about, because that is a sure way for you to distinguish your store and yourself from all of the other competitors out there, since dropshipping and e-commerce is already a highly competitive business model because of the low barriers to entry. And one of the very best ways you can leverage as a competitive advantage is your affinity, your passion and strong command of whatever you are selling. And this is coming from my own experience. The moment I started marketing and selling products in a niche I am passionate about was when I finally started finding not only fulfillment, but exponentially improving my results and being able to achieve all of the results that I had set for myself. Right now, I am rereading one of my all-time favorite books. It's called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco, and he is basically saying the very same thing, that you do not need to find something that no one has ever found before you, and something that has never been seen before by anyone else. So you do not need to invent anything. All you have to do is simply find something that is already working and capitalize and improve it, improve every single aspect of it. So I'm gonna show you what this book says exactly about this topic, right? So here we go, guys. You've got a great idea, but someone is already doing it. So what? Do it better. Someone is doing it is a monumental illusion, imposing an impassable obstacle. Someone is always already doing it. The bigger question is, can you do it better? Can you feel the need better, offer greater value, or be a better marketer? When I was struck with my idea to start a limousine portal on the internet, I thought it was a legendary idea. That is, until I went on the web and searched. There were already a dozen companies doing what I thought was a pristine, unmolested idea. At the time, my frequency wasn't tuned. I was going to drop the idea and start a new brainstorm session in search of that infamous blockbuster idea, one that no one among 7 billion people on planet Earth had never thought of. But a friend interrupted my perception and kicked my antenna into proper tune. She said, competition is everywhere. Just do it and do it better. She was right. Competition is a staple of business. This opportunity was an open road, not a closed one. These existing web directories weren't easily found and for the most part weren't user-friendly. I recognized the poorly met need. Notice how he emphasizes on a poorly met need right here, and I decided to drive this road of opportunity despite the numerous barricades that warned road closed. A decade later, every one of those companies I feared disappeared or became insignificant. In fact, the industry leader, unable to respond to my domination, diverted into an alternative service. Forget the big idea, go for better. Successful businesses rarely evolve from legendary idea. Nope, successful entrepreneurs take existing concepts and improve them. They take poorly met needs and solve them better. Skip the big idea and go for the big execution. You don't need an idea that has never been done before. All the ideas surface, just take it and do it better. Execute like no one has. Years ago, what if Sergey Brin and Larry Page looked at the internet landscape and said, gee, there are plenty of search engines out there, Yahoo, Snap, Alta Vista, why start Google? It's being done. Thankfully they didn't, and now Google is the most used search engine. And because of it, Brin and Page are now billionaires. A brand spanking new idea? Nope. A need solved better with big execution. Department stores have been around for decades, but that didn't stop Sam Walton from creating Walmart. It was an open road when the road seemed closed. Hamburgers were around for decades, but that didn't stop Ray Kroc from blowing up McDonald's after joining the company. It was an open road when the road seemed closed. Coffee had been around for 1,000 years when Howard Schultz bought into the Starbucks concept. A new idea? Nope. Starbucks made coffee fashionable and invented a brand, an ambiance, and an emotion, and attached it to coffee. It was an open road when the road seemed closed. Now let's move on to the next page. DVD rental stores were around for a long time, but that didn't stop Netflix or Redbox from starting a company and adding convenience to the need equation. It was an open road when the road seemed closed. Beer has been brewed for thousands of years, but that didn't stop Jim Koch from starting Sam Adams or Sam Calagione from starting Dogfish Head Craft Brewery, now the fastest growing brewery in America. Dogfish was started back in 1995 with a 10-gallon homebrew kit and little cash. There was an open road when the road seemed closed. Garbage has been around since men have walked the planet, yet that didn't stop Brian Scudamore from starting and then franchising 111 Got Junk, nor did it stop Wayne Huizinga from founding Waste Management with just one truck and a handful of customers. He later built Waste Management into a Fortune 500 company. And you are here looking around trying to find the next winning product. Is garbage a new need or a need that needed better fulfillment? It was an open road when the road seemed closed. A blanket with arms, it's been around for years, but that didn't stop Snuggie from selling 40 million blankets via infomercial marketing. An old idea, better marketed and better executed. It was an open road when the road seemed closed. MySpace was thriving well before Facebook, but that didn't stop Mark Zuckerberg. He saw a niche need and solved it and then adjusted as growth followed. It was an open road when the road seemed closed. Poorly met needs are open roads often appearing closed. Successful businesses take existing ideas, services, and products and simply make them better or spin them into new directions. So do what you will with all this information, but this is genuinely golden information, and there is no reason why you should not adopt the same type of mindset with e-commerce and dropshipping. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you found this video valuable, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel so I can bring you guys more content like this in the future. If you stuck with me till the end, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your attention and time, and I will see you again in the next one.